Well, all right, thanks for joining us. Like I said, we're here at the Herb First Aid Station at the Rainbow Gathering, so let's go meet Seven Song and see what's happening.
Hello. As you know, I'm Seven Song, and right now we're at the Rainbow Gathering doing first aid. So at the medical station, it's sometimes called CALM, and what I'm going to be doing, and John's going to be filming for the next couple of days, is showing you around first aid in real life at a Rainbow Gathering. And at the Rainbow Gathering, we have a mixture of different injuries and infectious diseases. There's a lot of considerations when treating people, but one of the things we also have to do is protect ourselves, wear gloves, watch out for respiratory viruses. As this camera is going to swing around, you're going to start to see it's just a kind of madness here, but it is one of the most outstanding places to learn first aid. I've been coming here for about 30 years, doing first aid for about 20 years, and the amount of stuff that I've learned all this time with all these people has been really pretty phenomenal. So what I want to do is swing over here. I'm going to show you some of the medicines. So over here we have the boxes of different medicines that I bring. A lot of the stuff I bring, some stuff other people bring. So we have alternative-ish medicines, as an herbalist, lots of tinctures and teas and plants. But we also have all the straight conventional stuff. We have Epsom salts and bandages and respiratory masks. There's an EpiPen somewhere. So basically, we're covering the panoply of different first aid situations you might see here. We also have to deal with chronic disorders at times. We have some radio communications if we have to bring folks out. I guess 5,000 to 7,000 people gather in a couple hundred acres in the woods, and any kind of infectious disease can get spread really fast. Over the past, and you hear my voice is raised, partly because I'm talking to a camera, but partly because I've been teaching and working here, and it's just loud. It is a lot. We set up the medical station in the center. So this is one of the loudest places because we want to be accessible for anybody who gets injured, to people to come back and take their medicines again. So what we have to do is we have to figure out how to limit disease spread here, which always will happen. I mean, a couple people come in with staph infections, and staph is going to spread fast. So how do we limit it? How do we educate people? How do we treat it? How can we treat it here? If not here, where's local hospitals? So it's much more than just coming in and treating boo-boos. Like we can have here, like people have broken their ankles and come here. There's been heart attacks that have happened here just a few days ago. And of course, those are way out of our league, and those people are going to go to local hospitals. My job is often kind of a strategist, diagnostician, clinician, and I have 18 students. My school has to come here, and so I have 18 students treating people, and I have to make sure that they treat people right and that they personally stay pretty healthy. So reasonably healthy amongst the chaos.
I see a lot of your students use activated charcoal on wounds. Do you cover that in the course?
Definitely, for activated charcoal. And for us, it's just one of the main things to absorb. Anything that's on the surface that we can absorb, like infectious matter, and anything in the lumen of the GI tract. So we use a lot of it. And you know, if you learn about it, it's inexpensive if you can buy it cheaply, which you can. And using it is pretty safe and simple, really useful medicine. That's pretty amazing. Like over the past 20 years of working here, I've learned just a lot of stuff about treating people. And a lot of that stuff is interpersonal stuff, counseling skills. Just when people come in with first aid health problems, there's the problem, right? There's the diarrhea, there's the headaches, there's the bites, but it's just a human being who's been altered in some sense. Their mental or physical homeostasis has to be helped. So one of the reasons I'm saying this is this course on first aid, most of you, I'm expecting, are not going to be a practitioner out in a mass of 7,000 people doing first aid. But a lot of the skills that I've acquired working here over the many years that I've been here are definitely useful, they're acquirable. So if you're watching this now and you're thinking, this first aid course just makes no sense for me, I'm never going to do this. This is just kind of an intro for it, but the goal of this is to show you that first aid works in this huge milieu of people, and then a lot of the smaller things, the things that you'll see, bites or cuts or scratches or bee stings, colds and flus, are also going to be part, like more of the household stuff. But John is here at my bequest because I wanted him to see, like, we could talk about all that. I also just do first aid at home and treat my community and people I know, but this is first aid in a much wider angle, and I just want people to get a sense of this. And then definitely when I'll be covering stuff, it'll be stuff that lots of people can use, lots of plants that are used. Also, as far as like the herbal medicines, most of it is pretty much, there's not a lot of very different plants that I use here. I just use them differently in different situations, but a lot of the same medicines are used here as in regular just your home first aid.
Well, I had a staph infection on my thumb that happened when I got into an encounter with a blackberry bush. And it was a small thing, and actually I had staph that went around because the vine wrapped around my wrist and then also got my thumb. And I've never had a staph infection before. I mean, I've heard of it, but I never had one myself. I know infected cut, but I didn't know it was called staph, and that it could turn into MRSA, which is a deadly thing. You can die from MRSA. But pretty much after I got my little staph infection, I noticed there was a little tiny yellow dot deep under my skin of my thumb, and literally overnight, like the night before I looked at it and noticed it, and then when I woke up it was throbbing. I actually woke up in the middle of the night to my thumb throbbing, because overnight it had went from that tiny little dot deep under my skin to pretty much my whole thumbprint, and it was like at least 3 times its normal size, and it was bad. It looked horrible. It was painful. It was bad. I thought I was gonna lose my thumb. I came to Calm and I talked to Seven Song in the morning of 4th of July, and he pretty much sat me down and calmed me down and talked me through how he was going to help me beat my staph infection, which he did an Epsom salt bath, and pretty much which helped expand the skin and loosen it up, and then he lanced it and bled it of all the pus, and then gave me both, he put activated charcoal on it first, because it helps absorb all the properties. And the only reason I know all of this is because he actually explained it to me while he was doing it to me. He didn't just be like, here, take this, it's good for you, da 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 da. No, he was like, this is gonna do this to you, this is gonna help you with your immune system, this is gonna help fight the infection, this is gonna help your skin heal over, and this is to calm you down just in case, you're getting nervous over this. So pretty much after 3 days of being under Seven Song's care, my staph infection was gone, and I was healing perfectly fine. And so anytime now I'm in any sort of situation where I fight a staph infection, I know how to approach it. I know to use usnea and yarrow and Oregon grapefruit and echinacea, activated charcoal if it gets bad, internal tinctures, external tinctures. Seven Song's a good man. He helps.
Well, thanks for joining us here at the Rainbow Gathering and checking out what happens at the first aid station. Thank you very much, Seven Song.
John?
We've got some other cool stuff to show you this week, including that whole, more details in that activated charcoal poultice and how to make that. But we got lots of free stuff to show you this week, and I want to thank you very much for sharing all this. And we'll tell you all the details on the scores and all that stuff later on this week. But meanwhile, while we had Seven Song here, I want to say thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you later this week. All right.
Also, it's interesting, while talking to you all on here, I'm looking down below you. Of course, you don't know it, but you're on a tripod. And right below the tripod, there's an anemone coming up, one of our favorite for anxiety attacks. It makes me think about saying, like how the seamlessness of herbal medicine and first aid, because here we are, people treating in the woods, and of course some of the remedies are really apparent, and so learning your botany skills and learning your plants is really helpful. But I hope this is interesting, and I know it's weird for many people. It's weird for me, and this is like my 30th year, but I think it'll give an insight.
It's weird for me, it's my first. Go ahead.
So it's just, like, don't let it dissuade you from practicing, but it might persuade you to come to a rainbow gathering and work in a kind of a crazy first aid situation.
Or just use the stuff at home.
Or just use the stuff at home. Thanks.